Alright all, and welcome back to a new video, and one I couldn't miss. It's previewing the Arc and the Arc weekend over at Longchamp, and also covering one or two races from across the cards. It should be a brilliant weekend of racing, both Saturday and Sunday. Sunday especially, a few fantastic Group 1s in store. And will we see Enable win her third Arc? I know I've been on a few other podcasts doing my views, so you may have seen some of them, you may know some of my opinions, but that being said, as I say, couldn't turn down the opportunity of doing a video for my own channel, so really going to whiz through them, going to cover a few of the races that I haven't covered yet either. On any other channel, so should be some good fun. Starting off on Saturday at Longchamp with the Prix. Please excuse the French pronunciations, they're going to be absolutely woeful throughout the whole video. It's a mile 2 furlong race, Group 2 race for 3-year-olds. One of our old favourites, Patrick Sarsfield, runs in this race. He's 11-2, best price at the moment with William Hill, price correct as of 11.50. Here on Friday morning, so not that far away from race time. It's around this time tomorrow that he'll be going to post. He just blatantly didn't stay last time out in the Champions Weekend at Leopardstown over a mile 4 behind Tiger Moth. He made a kind of a decent enough run of things turning into the straight, having been given a fair bit to do, and then obviously just petered out. That was a shame, as I napped him up for the weekend that day. I won't be napping him up for the weekend this week, but I do think he's still got a chance at 11-2. Depending on what sort of punter you are, that could be an each way price. For me, I'll probably back him on the nose, smaller stakes, and hopefully he can do the business. Frankie Dettori is booked, which is always a positive booking. In these big races, Frankie does seem to come to the fore. I know sometimes maybe in some of the smaller races on weekdays he mightn't look like he gives much interest at times, but in these big race meetings, big weekends, he does come to the fore, and hopefully he can steer this horse home. I think he should go well at a decent price. The Cadran is the main other race on the Saturday card, a 2 mile 4 furlong, big staying race. Princess Zoe, a bit of a wise guy's horse. Hopefully she runs well. Look, I've nothing against Princess Zoe. I just think she hasn't particularly shown anything that would make you think she's going to just win a Group 1 over 2.5 miles. She's been running over 1.5 miles or up to 2 miles at biggest, and handicaps and into a Group 3 last time out, only beating Ennis Diamond. So I still think she's got plenty to prove. She could prove that, and I'm more than willing to be proved wrong, but I know it's a boring selection and it's not something I usually go for, but I do think Call the Wind will win this race. He's 5-6, best price. It's a short enough price, but he was second in the race last year. He won the race in 2018. Like, he's got brilliant kind of track and course form here, and he obviously goes on the distance. He's a Group 1 gelding. He wins Group 2s and Group 3s for fun over in France, and hopefully he'll get the job done, but he is a short price. Moving in to Sunday, I think there's 5 Group 1s. There's 6 Group 1s on the card, my mistake. Starting off with the Jean-Luc de Lagardere, and one I've seen being advertised as big as 3-1 and as short as 11-8 is Nando Parrado for the Clive Cox team and Adam Kirby. Clive Cox is having a brilliant year with his 2-year-olds. Isabella Giles won last week alongside the horse that beat Lucky Vega, who is Supremacy. Sorry, he was almost out of my mind there. But Nando Parrado won the Coventry Stakes at a massive price earlier in the year at 150-1. But backed that up coming second in a 6 furlong Group 1 race behind Campanelli of Wesley Ward's over in France on soft ground. So he advertises that he goes all right on this soft ground. The step up to 7 furlongs looks like it might suit based on that run, and hopefully he'll go well. I would certainly be backing him ahead of the O'Brien horses, both Wembley and St Mark's Basilica. I think both of them have good form coming in from the national stakes behind Thunder Moon, and of course ahead of Lucky Vega and Master of the Sea. So it is very good form, but I'd be really dubious about the ground for both of them. I know Wembley, I think, won on soft ground. I'm not sure. It was either Wembley or St Mark's Basilica. One of them won their maiden on soft ground, but their maiden wasn't particularly strong. So it does remain to be seen who's going to act the best on this real heavy terrain. And also the Prix Marcel Boussac, the pretty much the equivalent for fillies, a mile race for 2-year-old fillies. And I'm going to take a chance here on Thunder Beauty for Ken Condon. Ken Condon himself has had a brilliant year with 2-year-olds. Miss Amulet ran with plenty of credit over in the Cheveley Park last week. His horse is 10-1. She won a Curra Maiden before finishing 5th in the Moyglaire last time out behind Shale and Pretty Gorgeous. Now, Pretty Gorgeous is the market leader, 2-1 for the Marcel Boussac. This horse is 10-1. Only finished 2.5 lengths behind Pretty Gorgeous. So I think there's enough juices and difference between the two prices to think Thunder Beauty's maybe worth an each-way bet. And 10-1's not the worst price you're going to get. The Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe, the big race on the day, the one that probably people are watching the video for. I was really keen on Stradivarius when he was a bigger price at the end of last week. He was 10, 12, 14-1. Even as early as Monday morning, you could still sweep up 10-1 when it started getting a little bit windy whether Love would run. Love isn't running and the horse is now 13-2 best price. He's been drawn out in stall 14, which is a big negative. He's been drawn out in the car park, which I do understand is a big negative. I think he'll have to be given a bird of brilliance from Olivier Pellier to get this horse close. 13-2, he's probably just about worth an each-way bet still. I'm not a man for after timing. I managed to get a little bit of a bigger price. I managed to get 12-1 on Monday morning, just before the Love kind of stuff really took hold and the horse shortened into 8-1. He's not a brilliant price at 13-2, I will admit. There's probably just about enough juice in his price at that. But anything shorter than that, you're getting really short on him, to be honest. I think Enable is still probably the most likely winner, but I think there's enough to oppose her at the prices she is on the ground as well. Mogul, Mongrel, you guys know it. I'm his biggest fan, and yes, I don't know, it's a love-hate relationship. I love him, he hates me, that sort of idea. He's 11-1. Yes, I probably will back him on the day, but he's not a horse I'm going to put up. I've spent too much time discussing him on many another video. So Stradivarius, the main one, I will have probably a saver on Mogul. The Prix de l'Opera, Alpine Star is in here, and I know some of you guys grabbed me for the Jess Garrington thing, but you can't get away from how good the form of Alpine Star has been this year. Winning the Coronation Stakes by 4 lengths, second in the Prix de Diane to Fancy Blue. I don't think it was one of the great rides of the year from Stéphane Pasquier, but he rode the horse much better and to much better effect when finishing second to Palace Pier. I think Palace Pier is one of the best milers we've seen in recent times. I think the form of that race shows that Persian King's gone out and won the Moulin since. I thought it was a really strong renewal. She was well clear of the rest in second. Stepping back up to a mile 2, yes, she hasn't encountered this heavy ground before, but she was on soft ground last time out, and sloppy soft ground at that when second to Palace Pier, so showing some aptitude for it. I do think she stays 10 furlongs grand. As I say, I think she was actually coming back at Fancy Blue at the line in the Prix Diane, and I'd fancy her to just like the ground a little bit more than Fancy Blue. I don't know why I say that. I just always have these reservations about these Aidan O'Brien horses on this real heavy going. I think they're not really cut out for it on the whole. Sorry, this is obviously Fancy Blue is a Donegal O'Brien horse, but these they're all very similarly bred, these horses, and I'm not sure whether it's really going to be her cup of tea. I think the French horse, the unbeaten French horse, is a big danger, as she does have the soft ground plus in her book. Moving on to the Abbaye, a bit of a shame that Batash has come out of the race, but you can understand why, given the conditions. Very similar to Love. You can kind of understand why they've taken that view. I think it's not a great race. I think Glass Slippers is a very worthy favourite. I think I'm now with Batash out of the race. I'm going to take a chance on Make a Challenge at 7-2. I know he's probably below Group 1 level, but I don't think there's that many good, actual proper Group 1 horses in this race, and especially proper Group 1 horses on this ground in this race. At least we know he'll absolutely adore the ground. He got a bit of an odd ride in the Flying 5. They didn't really make much use of him, which I thought was a bit strange. I don't know whether he wasn't able to lay up or what was the story. Hopefully he can do better this time out. If you're on at a fancier price, fair enough, well done to you. But Make a Challenge 7-2. I think I'll take a small punt on him. to maybe reverse the form with glass slippers just on the ground, just because he absolutely does adore heavy ground, and I'd love to see him win a Group 1. The Foray, apologies, is one of the more competitive races of the weekend, and I think it's a really good race, actually. The likes of Earthlight won Master, but a horse we got a very good win out of in the Boomerang Mile is Safe Voyage for the John Quinn Yard. He's 4-1 in this race. He was 4th in the race last year before finishing 3rd in the QE2, both on very testing going, so he goes nicely enough on the ground. And he beat One Master last time out by 3.5 lengths at York in the City of York Stakes. So One Master does have it to prove to go and catch this Safe Voyage. He's a really likeable horse. He wins an awful lot of races. And over 7 furlongs, you can probably make a little bit more use of him than they managed to in the Boomerang Mile. And he was hanging on at the line in the Boomerang Mile. But that being said, he beat Sinawan. I know a lot of shrewd people, or people a lot more shrewd than me, really fancy Sinawan for the Boomerang Mile. So I think that was a good performance, and obviously the likes of Century Dream, Lancaster House were well beaten. So I think the form of that is quite good. He hasn't won a Group 1, so I believe, but this is a real chance over 7 furlongs, and hopefully he can run very well. That just leaves us with 2 more to go through, and that's going to be the Nap and the each-way shot of the weekend. Starting off with the Nap, it comes at Newmarket, the Sun Chariot Stakes. Hoping the ground doesn't go too soft, but I'll be backing Peaceful in this race at 15-4. I was really against Peaceful in the Matron Stakes, and she ran a race much better than I thought she would, given I thought she'd need the run, as there'd be bigger targets down the line. I would certainly back her to be reversing form with Champs-Élysées. I thought the former there had a tough race, Champs-Élysées. I think she had a really tough race in the Matron Stakes. And I'd just be thinking that Peaceful has a little bit more room for improvement from those runs. And I do believe Peaceful actually should be favoured in my book. I think 15-4, 4-1 is a very good price. So she's my Nap of the weekend. And the 4:20 at Gowran Park on Saturday, I believe this horse should be an each-way price. A horse I love a lot. Sweet Home Chicago for the Colombo Yard. I think Brian Cooper gets the ride. He's running off a mark of 129. He's been chasing the last few times. He's been well backed, but hasn't quite done it. Saddle slipped once. He made a few mistakes the other times. Back over hurdles now. Won off a mark of 119 earlier this summer at Roscommon. By 10 lengths, so he was well entitled to go up a few pounds for that. Hopefully the ground stays decent enough at Gowran Park. That's the only thing. I do think the horse likes good ground, but if he's at an each way price, I wouldn't put anyone off having a few quid each way on him. Anyway, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, please do give it a like and subscribe to the channel down below. We're almost at the 1,900 subscribers mark, which is great. If we can manage to get to that, then we can push on and hopefully make it to the 2,000 subscriber mark. Give us your fancies for the ARC weekend. What's your best bet? What's the best price you've gotten on Anti-Post? If you have, do let me know down below, and I'll try to get involved in the comments. I've been a little bit sloppy getting involved on the comments recently, but I assure you I'll be better in time. And until next time, where we'll probably be getting near enough the proper jump season, which will be absolutely superb. Stay safe, stay well, and I'll see you guys next time. Cheers.